Hey everybody, this is an autumn wind playoff game between the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a quarterfinal game in this 2020 autumn wind season. This is a matchup between the number 2 seed and Nathan, what did you say?
The number 3, number 2 and number 3.
Number 2 and number 3 seeds. So Tampa Bay was 14-2, New England 12-4. New England led by Derek Carr and a bunch of Seahawks. He's a Seahawk fan like me. He's got Chris Carson. He's got some, I think he's got KJ Wright.
He's got
DK Metcalf. He picked him up in the first round as he amazingly slid down. Tampa Bay has good run defense, excellent pass defense. They are a 3-4. And on offense, they are led by Ryan Fitzmagic, and Derrick Henry. So this should be a good one. The only other person to carry the ball besides Henry was Ryan Fitzpatrick on must runs. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be a good game. And this will be for the second semifinal spot. Whoever wins this game will play against the Philadelphia Eagles, who upset my co-host tonight, Nathan Baylor. Nathan, you had Nathan, are you okay? Any
I'll survive. I've had a day.
I hear you. So here we go. We're getting ready to start. And the kickoff's a touchback. Nathan always puts together a good team, a strong run in almost every league he's in, unless he's rebuilding. So I think we both talked a little bit before we went live that I don't think either of us were expecting to do as well as we have. We both finished this regular season 15-1. So it's all gravy from here, right?
I guess. It's funny because I think we were the number 1 and number 2 in rushing attempts this year.
Yeah, so there's the
correlation.
Yeah, could be. A slant to Austin Cooper on first down as New England gets the ball first, so Tampa Bay will get the ball to begin the second half. Now, you can look at that defensive card. Excellent. It's not quite as excellent as it was like maybe 5 years ago. They added that extra receiver. Remember when it used to not have a receiver reading on 4? And the interception splits are toned down a little bit for the modern game.
Yeah, the interceptions seemed like they were out of control for a while there.
But it's still just a great defensive card to have. Chris Carson, here's a fun fact. In Somifa, he carried the ball like 360 times. Never fumbled, even though he has a high fumble number. There's a curl to DK Metcalf, single covered, guarded by a 6, and it's incomplete on the interception split. So he does have a high fumble number. And so far, he hasn't really lost a fumble for me in my first 3 Somifa games. So I don't know. Maybe there's some Chris Carson magic. Let me check the stats for the regular season for the Patriots. Let's see how many times
he just
fumbled.
jinxed the heck out of yourself in SSFA.
Probably so. He fumbled 5 times all year on about 300 carries and only lost 2. I think that's better because he has like a 20 guessed right or guessed wrong fumble number, 40 guessed right. Down and out to Duke Johnson. Covered by a 6, hits a blank on Derek Carr's card. So how would you approach this if you're New England on offense? So you have Derek Carr and Chris Carson along with those receivers.
Well, I think he's going to want to run a lot, although I did notice, I just took a quick look at their strat reports because I had not played Tampa Bay this year, and it looks like he calls a run quite a bit, like a really high number compared to most people.
Oh, interesting.
I'm not sure. It might be one of those things where when you have an excellent defense, you just sort of, tend to let those guys take care of their own business and try to stop the other thing that you're weaker at.
Oh yeah, we got to get Michael Reeves in here. I shared the broadcast link to the
to my yeah.
Right. I meant to share it over here, so we get Michael in here with us too. Yeah, I meant to share it to both you and him. So an off tackle left to Henry, there is nobody in the zone. Guessed wrong, +3. Yeah, so I think, when you're facing excellent pass defense and you have a good flat passer, that's one of the ways you can attack him is run and pound the flats.
I think in the big picture, you almost always want to be guessed wrong as much as you can. And then the next best thing is your matchups, whether that's running or passing. You don't want to throw against sixes in the flats all day, or, in this case, you got 2 men in zone out there. You don't want to be doing too much of that if you can avoid it.
Right. And facing a 3-4 defense makes it harder, as you saw him flood the left flat. That was a pass to the right flat on the defensive card, and it picked up 4. Now, let's talk a quick minute about Tampa Bay's or the Patriots defense. They are excellent against the run, good against the pass out of the 3-4 as well. So they have good pass defense. That's going to help. A 5 and a 6 corner helps.
When he gets to the nickel, he brings in a 5 safety. He's got 2 4s in there right now because he's basically, to get to that excellent, he needed that 4-6, I think, free safety. Maybe it's 50, whatever it is, but he gets a 5 in there later on. So his defense gets a little better on third.
Got it. 70-yard punt goes into the end zone, and that's where New England will start their second drive of the game. Hey, Michael.
Hey, how you doing?
Feel free to chime in here if you got something interesting you want to bring up or anything you thought about with this matchup.
Sure. Thank you.
One thing I will say about Tampa Bay's linebackers that kind of prevents that flat passing defense is 2 of them are 6s and the ones in the middle are 5s. And it looks like he left them home there on a flat pass right. So you want that on the quarterback's card because excellent pass defense, even in the flats with a 6 there, it's tough sledding. We do use the emphasize 6 linebacker rule in autumn wind. I think that's been a big part of Mike Ramos's success. Mike is the coach of Tampa Bay. He's gone 14-2 the regular season, and a big part of that is his advantage in the flats. Off tackle left to Carson. Nobody's there. He needs a block by the tackle, and he gets it. So first down. Our first down of the game. Brian O'Neill with the block.
I think when that defense is this good, you pretty much have to just try to take what they're giving you and hope you roll on the offensive card.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, you got to get on your card more than half the time. Pitch out left to Carson. And there's that run, the ability to call run that we talked about with Tampa Bay. A lot of coaches that have an excellent pass defense will call run more frequently because they're just let their cards do the work when the guy does pass.
Well, the Patriots actually had a pretty high number of run calls too, compared to maybe 10% higher or something like that than a lot of the coaches I've looked at. And I played twice, and I think he called quite a bit of run.
Well, let's look at it just real quick. I'm looking at the Stratomatic report. Here's a quick slant to Austin Hooper, and defender +1 or +3 is going to pick up just a yard. So I'm looking in the report for Tampa Bay, and scroll down to the defensive part. You're not looking at the guess right. You're just looking at the totals, right? So all.
I looked at it earlier just because I hadn't played against him, so I wasn't sure. I'll pull it up.
So I see all runs.
So for defense, I saw
3rd and 9 in the game as we talk about strategy as well as the game itself. So offense, defense. So guessed correctly.
Oh, you know what? I looked at the wrong thing. I looked at his offense, not his defense. Never mind.
Got it. Yeah, so he runs more than you think because he has Henry. Crossing pattern to Fitzgerald. It's correctly double teamed, and that's picked off. So right away, Tampa's excellent pass defense shows its head, but not because of the card, but because of the call. And he correctly double teams. I'm sorry.
Fitzgerald, I think.
Yeah, Fitzgerald. Correctly double teamed Fitzgerald, excuse me. And that's going to set them up with a short field. Ryan Fitzpatrick takes over at the 33. We have a tip of the hat from Jeff saying, nice call. Angry Mike says, thanks. So blocking back, halfback set for the Bucs. Derrick Henry in the backfield with Jimmy Graham. Cameron Brates, the tight end. We got Darius Slayton and Shaquille Williams. Off tackle draw right to Henry against a short yardage defense. Nice call there by both coaches. Mike trying to get off of the men in zone, but Jeff countering that with a short yardage defense call. So 2nd and 8 in field goal range. Fitzpatrick's got those 2-4 outside linebackers to shoot at. So there's 2 6s for the Pats on defense at linebacker, but they're both in the middle. And of course, the 6 cornerback, he's got Stephen Gilmore. On off tackle left to Henry. Nobody there, but it's a run call. That's going to pick up 2. So 3rd and 6, 8:06 to go in the first quarter. Just getting started here. Third and 6, he goes 3 wide, and Jeff responds with a 3-4. I don't know if I like this, especially when you have Luke Kuechly as one of your inside linebackers.
I see a lot of people do this. I do not understand. I don't know what the goal is here, except I guess you can call run and still have your safety back is the only thing I can think of.
Right. But screen pass to Henry. Guessed right. 1 man in zone. It's a 4. And he makes a play. So Vince Bagel, extra cream cheese and lox on his plays. He slaps the ball away. And here comes the money badger. And he hits it. The 11 would be a miss on a lot of kickers' cards. But he benefited from that 11. So 3-0 Tampa Bay takes the early lead. All right, I'm going to, Nathan, I want you, or Michael, one of you guys take over the play-by-play. I'll be right back. I got to go take care of my dog here. So take over.
I don't know if we can see. Can you see that screen, Michael? Go. Looks like I guessed wrong off tackle. 4 yards. No blocking back, but gets 4 yards. Looks like another inside run for 5 yards. Guessed wrong. There's coming out in a 3 wide. Throws a bomb against the 4. Beats him on the defender rating for 49 yards. Down to the 10. Looks like a touchdown and run, short gain on Carson's card. Guessed wrong. And the Patriots are leading 7-3. Fitzpatrick to Cameron Brate for 13 yards. Brayton and Jimmy Graham against fours would probably be some guys he targets quite a bit. Square out left, looks like to Slayton. Defender on him is a 6, so he only gets the yard. Brate again, run call, so Gastrong against a 4. Gets the interception split, but just missed the pick. Short pass to Keel Williams. Almost picked again. This time Foreman in zone. And he pins him down at the 6. Can't really see the matchups here for pass rush because I'm not on my screen. I'm watching Dennis' broadcast here. It's like a run call, guessed right. Nose tackle makes the play, 0. That'd be a good off tackle left, guessed wrong, just gets a yard. Looks like David Johnson in a shotgun, 3 wide, good pass catcher. But covered by 6s, it looks like. Short pass to Metcalf, incomplete.
Hey guys, I'm back. So I see a touchdown for New England. What happened there?
He was at his own 41, and he came out in a 3 wide set, and he immediately threw a bomb to the receiver covered by the 4, beat the defender for 49 yards, and then he ran in around the next play. Yes, wrong for a 4-gain touchdown.
Well, big plays is a big part of the story here in these playoff games at times.
Especially against these more difficult defenses to move it consistently against, you think?
Yeah.
I actually like that 3-wide option for him because the zone, with Derek Carr, he can still throw to the flats and at least only face the one linebacker, even if it's against mostly 5s and a 6. But then if he tries to come up and flood or get in those running zones at all, he has that guy he can take the shot to against the 4.
Yep, and now we see Tampa Bay on the move. They're inside Patriot territory, facing a 2nd and 10 after an incomplete pass there on first down.
He's been targeting Braid a little bit against the 4. Got a couple completions to him.
Let's take a look at Braid. Can he go deep? He cannot go deep.
I'm not sure on that card, man.
Yeah, he cannot. I'll take a left, 1-man in zone, guessed right. Linebacker in zone -2 or +3. And that is stuff for a 2-yard loss. It's 3rd and 12.
This is Mike's first playoff appearance since 2012. He was one of those originalists, the guys that joined the league back in 2004 when it went into electronic format.
Yeah, his team came together slowly but surely.
I used to play against Mike Ramos in the face-to-face leagues. Really good guy.
Yeah, he's a highway patrolman, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or sheriff, one of the two. So I think a highway patrolman, maybe? I don't know.
I think he's highway patrol.
Yeah, I thought so.
Sure, because my aunt was a sheriff and they had met and she was giving him a hard time.
Oh, okay. That's fair
They
enough.
all lived down in that same area.
So the other guy covered by a 4 is Graham, and Graham can go deep. There is a slant to Braid, 4-man zone incomplete. So that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe a deep shot to Graham at some point.
I would like to see a lot of passes to Graham if possible, because when you double team that blocking back or running back, you cannot do it with a receiver or with a linebacker. And on top of that, that also kind of keeps that linebacker on that side from being able to double team, even if you don't want to use it on Graham,
Correct.
It's just, it limits some of the things that some of the defenses will do, like in pass prevent type things.
So it said, pitch out left here to Carson. So it said that the 49-yard bomb was to Boyd, and Boyd is here starting at flanker. So the 4 is the extra XDB guy. Did he move Boyd to the 3rd wide receiver spot?
Well, sometimes like you can move your receiver. The listed receivers are based on yardage. So like his Metcalf is probably in the correct location. He just might like Boyd, like Fitzgerald, for instance.
Oh, gotcha.
May have more yardage or something like that. They may have listed him as a second guy.
Gotcha. So he's using Boyd there for the yardage.
Yeah, like when I'm in a full house, I have Scantling usually out there, but I bring in Josh Reynolds just because he's got more short pass combos. If I'm in the goal line area.
So we saw a guest right short gain run by Carson, followed by a guest right 4-yard gain on 1st and 10 after the first down to from Carr over to Boyd. Screen right to Carson. There's a 6 there, but it lands on his card for 4 yards, and it'll bring up 3rd and 2. I'm going to check the depth charts because it's always listed in there, right?
I think it will say split in flanker. I know. I'm sure I could pull up the depth charts if you don't have
draft order transactions. Is it in the workbook? I don't see a link here for the depth charts like I usually remember seeing. So 3rd and 2, he goes to a full house formation. Carson and Duke Johnson in the backfield, along with Anthony Sherman as the fullback. All of his run ratings will be boosted by 1, so all those 4s and 5s will get boosted to 5s and 6s, including Sherman as the blocking back. Inside run to Carson, guessed wrong, but there's a man in the zone. No tackle, +1 or +6, and he's stuffed. Vita Vea stuffs him for a 1-yard gain. I guess maybe the depth chart is under the team and coach information.
I'm looking right now. It's New England we're looking at here, right?
Yeah. So he's lining up the punt on 4th and 1. He's got the lead. knows he's facing an excellent pass defense and good run defense. Yeah, so it's there under the depth charts. So that would be New England.
Yeah, it looks like he has Josh Gordon as his listed flanker, which makes sense because of his yardage. But he likes to, he's got Metcalf, so he might like the higher catch guy and play Boyd out there or Fitzgerald, depending on situations. And then when he gets in his 3 wide, I'm sure he just puts whoever in the third slot there.
So Josh Gordon, despite being listed as a starter, hasn't made an appearance. Bombed at DeQuell Williams. One man in zone, guessed wrong. Interception split on the D card. So you were just saying that even though you call run, if you leave a man home, you're still kind of protecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, against 5s and 6s, I mean, it is.
You'd have to hit a receiver.
I want to be guessed wrong when you got a guy like Mahomes or, Brady had a good bomb card this year. And, there's a lot of combos, like 14 combos or something like that, especially in this set. And that was actually one thing that I'm going to watch for and maybe have you ask Glenn about in your next interview when you do it. So many 5 and 6 safeties in this set seemed to correlate at the same time, whether it was coincidence or not. Was that a pick?
That was a pick. It was a guessed wrong 4-minute zone run call. So he called run on a bomb, missed it. Called run on a short pass, and it was picked off. Both of them called runs, but so far the breaks are leaning towards the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was saying is I might go back and look and see what the season before, when the quarterbacks didn't have such nice bomb cards, I think that might have correlated a little bit with the safeties not having such good ratings. You know what I mean?
Right. So because they rated those safeties higher.
Well, they had so many. I mean, there was a ton of them that were 5s and 6s this year, like a really high amount.
Makes sense. Yeah, you're right. More safeties than we're used to. And most of those starters for their stock teams, not necessarily extra DBs. Like third safeties are not really getting the 5s like they used to.
There were 32 5 or 6 rated safeties in this set. So, like, every team should have a 5 at least, on average.
Off tackle run to Carson, guessed right, picks up 3 still. And see, he's a 37 guessed right, and like a 19 or something guessed wrong.
So, on average, if you figure people call 25% of the time they call run, which is probably above average, to be honest. He's not going to be much higher than 25 to 28%, something like that.
Got it. Inside run to Duke Johnson. It's going to pick up a yard. Sometimes you'll do that, bring in your backup running back thinking he's just going to call pass because, Duke is more known as a pass catcher. But he's got a decent guest run card.
Yeah, it's not bad. He's actually had some kind of sneaky good run cards over the years. I think he was a fumbler a couple years ago, though, too.
I said it was guessed right, but it was guessed wrong. So he had a chance to hit a short gain there on 7. 3rd and 6, just inside field goal range. Take a look at New England's kicker. They are good 2 through 9 inside the 32.
Oh, that's Duke Johnson. I thought that might have been David Johnson. What's his pass card look like? Is he all right?
Yeah, he's a button hook to Duke. He's getting double covered, and that's not gonna go anywhere. We'll pull it up over here. So here's old Duke's card while we're having this field goal go through. And the field goal is good on an 8. So he's got a really good flat card and short card.
Yeah, he's a legit option. Throw to. Not great against 6 outside linebackers, but that's what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So Mike's got to feel good that he held him to field goal there. So that's he's only down by a touchdown.
For sure. It is a weird quirk with the good and excellent defense cards that there's more receiver ratings on them than there is on like the average. I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
Right. Oh, there's a long gain on a short pass to Graham. You said to pump it to Graham.
Wow. Jeff
comes back with a run call and he gets 30. Graham can actually go, I think 40 something.
I think he's a decent option. I have him in Frozen Tundra. I use him walking back.
So his long is 48. So he can go 48. Doesn't have the dot, but he gets you a lot of that yards in those long gains.
And that's one of his best. I mean, he's got a decent receiving guard. He's up against a 4, and he's the hardest guy on the field to double team who's actually worth double teaming.
Yeah, so Jeff's calling him run again, paying a lot of attention to Derrick Henry, even though he has the excellent run defense. That's right? New England has the excellent run.
Yes, excellent, good.
Good pass.
That's the 4th run call in a row.
Sometimes you'll do that just, hey, if it's still working, I'm just going to keep calling run. But he gave up a 30-yarder on it, so maybe it's time to switch it up a bit. Off tackle left to Henry. Nobody there. Calling run, though. He's going to lose a yard since the offensive onside end didn't make the block. Jimmy Graham's a 0. As good of a pass catcher that he is, he's never been known for his blocking.
I think a lot of people see that name, Derrick Henry, and they know, that it's dangerous. Because he doesn't run necessarily, based on just looking at his tendencies, doesn't run so much that you'd think people would call that much. But that chart I got confused on, people call him guessed right on runs like 38% time, which is pretty high.
Right. That shows some respect. And you can key Henry, since there really is – the only time he ever runs is Fitzpatrick must runs and Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Can Fitz end run in this with his card? No.
No way.
No end run. So 3rd and 6, and again we see a 3-4, but this time it's a little more reasonable because he lined up in a blocking back halfback set. Short pass to Graham, guessed right. 3-minute zone incomplete. So what do you do here, guys? 4th and 6.
Throw a bomb.
Give it a shot. He's going to go for it. Take a look at his field goal kicker just by the by.
Yeah.
2 through 7, 11 and 12 inside the 32, and only 2 through 5, 33 to 37. So you can understand why he's going to go for it here.
Don't really like the formation that much, though, especially against a nickel. I mean,
and not only that, but especially against Luke Kuechly, because if you were trying to run off tackle and hit a short gain and try to break contain, you're not going to do that off tackle or linebacker against that linebacker.
Yeah, I don't like. Oh, wow.
Bombed into Quill Williams, just like you said, covered by 5. Guessed right? In between the raindrops, Michael. He lands on that 4 in between the 5 and the 3. And the Patriots hold. Of course, that field goal would have been good. 20/20 vision, right, guys? Hindsight. It's hard to say if that roll would have been the same. I've always wondered if the rolls, like, does it matter when you click the snap button? Does it matter, like, if you would try a field goal as opposed to a regular play? Inside run to Carson, guessed right. It's going to pick up a yard.
Probably a lot of slot machine players out there that wonder that same thing.
Maybe that's another question for Hal.
I don't think they've revealed that, even if they knew. But when you write for a computer program and you're asking for a random number, I don't think it really reflects. It doesn't like reference the clock or the date, time of day or anything. Yeah, it's just random.
Let's hope it's completely random.
Yeah, it's got to be.
But you wouldn't want there to be some kind of a pattern.
Right. Yeah, people would pick up on that. But I think that off tackle run left to Carson, they have too much at stake. And another guessed right short gain. Chris Carson living off his short gains there. Not only picked up 10, but that was enough to get another first down and get the ball close to midfield. 14 runs for Carson for 71 yards. That is a lot of running.
Mm-hmm.
In not even a full half yet. We're going to have to see a little Duke Johnson action here. He's got 12 unfatigued carries left, and he checks into the game in the full house.
It's nice to have like 19 combos where you at least get a yard guessed right, and one of them, like 2 of them, is a short gain.
Oh, for sure.
Not something you see all the time in most sets, I don't think.
Especially nowadays where the runners are.
Yeah, you get a lot of guys that are usually like they can pound it in there, but they're not going to have short gains.
Right. So 2nd and 9. Duke stays in there. Crossing pattern to Boyd. And here comes the first sack of the game. At least the first one I've seen. Sam Hubbard beats Brian O'Neill. A 9 against the 7. There was only a 7% chance of a sack, but the random roll was a 2.
Wow.
Talk about your big breaks. That's going to set up a 3rd and long.
This is Jeff's 3rd appearance in the playoffs. He joined in 2013. He was there last year, as a matter of fact.
Jeff's made some good picks. I think he was in one of Ed's leagues. Or no, it was in Frozen Tundra. I think he picked Sherman over Richard Sherman over
Spring Fever.
Brandon Browner. Yeah, it was Spring Fever. So he picked the lower rated 4 over the higher rated 5, and what a great pick that was.
Oh.
So he likes the Seahawks, but he chooses them wisely. Inside run to Johnson. There's nobody there for containment. He's going to pick up 15 yards and exactly get what he needs for a first down.
Wow.
Oh, my stars and garters. That's another big play. See, I don't know if I like that call by Mike. Just keep the guys home. 3-3-5. Well, was he in a 4-2-5 that time? No. 3-2-6? I didn't see. Or did he just move his linebacker?
He moved his linebacker, I thought.
Oh, okay. Trying to get a little extra pass rush, or maybe he's used one of the outside guys to double team and use the inside guy to cover. I'll pay more attention next time.
Well, since Jeff has been throwing downfield a fair amount, I mean, it's not horrible to bring it, but I didn't see a lot of pass rush on that one. I couldn't tell.
Or though he could have actually used that outside linebacker to double the 4 to prevent another bomb. So that was a guess wrong run for 5 yards. Carson is down to 12 unfatigued carries. That's still pretty reasonable. Off tackle right to Carson out of a 3-3-5, and he's going to hit 18 yards. Hits the brackets on 8, and that takes it into field goal territory. New England poised to take a 2-score lead over the Bucs. 2 minutes left in the half. That would be huge to go into halftime, knowing the Bucs are going to get the ball first with either a 10 or 14-point lead. Switches over to Duke Johnson to preserve some carries. Those 6 outside linebackers also, helping pass coverage. Can't throw short to those guys as easily as you normally would. Pitch out left to Duke, called right, and he's a low fumbler. Even guessed right. That's only 8.4 out of 1,000. That would have been a 9-yard pickup. Guessed wrong.
It's a good call.
Yeah, both teams are making really good calls now. Jeff lets the clock run. Mike does as well. So 1:30 left. Not wanting to give him. Jeff doesn't want to give Mike time for a late drive, so no timeouts used yet. We're at the 20. I don't really see a good option for going deep, so look for another run here or a flat pass. Maybe even a short pass. Get DK Metcalf involved, even though he's covered by a 6. Now it's a run. Inside run to Duke Johnson. Guessed wrong. Going to pick up 5. Set up 3rd and 4. No contain. And there will most likely be 4 men in zone off a short pass unless he moves that free safety to flood a zone. 3rd and 4. What do you think? If you're Mike, you call run and leave everybody home?
It's pretty risky throwing short, especially with all the picks. Kind of gets in the head a little.
Yeah. It is a short pass, 4 men in zone, and it hits on Derek Carr's card, plus 14 on a 6. Nice call there by Jeff. He says, I'm not going to just settle for a field goal. I want to get all 7 points before the half. DK gets his first catch of the game. And now you're going to see him pounded in. Carson and Duke Johnson in there along with Carr. Maybe a sneak to Carr. You could even totally mix it up and give it to Sherman. He's not too bad for a fullback. He's got some guessed right hits and some nice guessed wrong hits.
Oh, lose yards.
Inside run to Johnson. There's a pass call and center +4/+2. That is a touchdown. J.C. Treader boosted up from his 4 to a 5. Takes it into the end zone. Duke Johnson does, that is. And the extra point is good. Youngwei Koo kicks it through. And 17-3 with 15 seconds left. So well played there by Jeff. Picking up that huge third down on a 15-yard run on 3rd and 14 after a sack. Nice drive, says Mike. Here's the kickoff. So Mike will have the ball at the 33 with 8 seconds to go. DeAndrew White is the return man.
Looks like these are the number 2 and number 3 defenses as far as points allowed in the whole league.
Wow. That explains a lot of the run calls. You know, you can really disrupt a team that depends on the run by mixing in a lot of run calls.
Yeah, I had 2 really tight defensive struggles against New England this year.
That's one of the benefits of having Derrick Henry is that you can try to just waste a carry and try to bust the long one.
In both games, the most points scored was 17.
Wow.
Your team.
So New England's holding him down, as we could have suspected. Square out right to Slayton. Nobody's there. He'll need to hit an edge on the D card. He gets plus 19. That's not too bad, but he's going to run out of time here. He'll use a timeout with 1 second left and be able to try to hit another one of these big plays, or hand it to Henry, see if he can hit something. Let's see how he lines up. That'll maybe tell us what he's planning. Fitzpatrick, that was only his 5th completion of the half, 5 for 15 for 67 yards. And the pick. It looks like he's going 3 wide with Graham, so he's going to try to chuck it up there with Fitzmagic. Let's see what I think he has a completion on 5.
Could be a bomb to Graham here. 48 yards exactly.
There you go. That's a good observation there. Sometimes you get messages from the strat gods like, oh, hey, this is exactly his maximum. Let's give it a shot.
And if you got weird and doubled instead of just hit 2-minute zone, you'd have a good matchup on the 4 linebacker. Or is that a 0 out there?
Well, he's got a 0-0-11. Montez Sweat checks into the game. Maybe he's going to, you tell him you're going to bring him, and then you flood the flat and drop the extra DB back. Trying to get that.
The matchup won't matter, but if he tries to double or do something else, then
right. But you could put 2 men in the zone and get one of those excellent pass defense flat pass picks and take it to the house. If he does try to go flat right again, like he did last play, it's thinking that the 0-11 is going to be rushing the passer.
Yeah.
Adam Humphries is the 3rd wide receiver. He's covered by a 4. Cameron Brate's covered by a 4, but here we go. We got to fly to Slayton, double covered. So this is going nowhere.
See, he covered Jimmy Graham, but he's not actually covered. That would have been a good matchup.
Yeah, he used the 2nd DB on them, so that's going to be a total smothering. And that'll
be
be the end of the half.
Anyway.
So let's talk about how each coach feels. If you're Jeff, you got to feel fantastic, right? You got a couple of breaks, hit a bomb, got an unlikely 3rd down conversion.
You're
feeling pretty good.
15 points in the first half against his defense. You're thrilled.
Yes, and if you're Mike, how do you feel? You have excellent pass defense.
Feel horrible.
But you're still in this, and you can easily get your own turnovers on the D card. You got to remember that this can quickly turn
Mike's
around.
In a better position to throw because until you get to 3rd down, you're going to have a 4 strong safety and a 4 outside linebacker, or 2 of them that you can throw short passes against. And he's got the good pass defense. So if you have to throw, that's the defense you got to throw against, I think.
So Nathan's keys to the game is give the ball to Jimmy Graham, throw it to him over and over again until he adjusts. Graham or Brait. Even Derrick Henry can catch a short pass, and he's covered by a 4 as well.
They're all covered by 4s, and obviously he's still going to run. And obviously it looks like he's still going to call a run.
There you go. Well, speaking of short gains, guess right. There's a 13-yarder by Derrick Henry. He has his short gain on a 6, so even better than Chris Carson's.
He's actually not a great pounder. He's got 15 combos, it looks like, guessed right. But that short gain on 6 is pretty awesome. So that's not bad,
Absolutely. You can keep running it guessed right with it.
In the goal line area, I'm not loving a guy who can only get 15 combos of a positive yard. Or is that an end run? That's an end run. Never mind.
That's end run, yeah.
I thought that was a line buck for some reason.
Well, we'll take a look at the card. The linebacker is different. But there he goes to short pass to Brait with all those run calls.
Yeah, that's a good card, too. I mean, him and Graham have good short cards. And like I said, that receiver, there's like 21 receiver combos, I think, on that defense there. 2, 6, 11.
But you're not wrong about Derrick Henry, even off tackle and linebacker. Look at that. Look at that guess right. I brought the card over. A lot of zeros and negatives yardage, 7 to 10.
1, 4, 9. Is his linebacker worse than his end run? 1, 3, 8.
Yeah, because he's got the +2 on 7.
He's got more guessed right yardage on his end run than he does on his linebacker.
Yep. Here's a pass call, guessed right, 4-man in zone. So Jeff's adjusting as he sees that he's going to maybe open it up and throw the ball a little bit. It's going to be a 4-yard must run. First run of the day by Fitzpatrick. So really, for Henry to be effective, you need him guessed wrong. I mean, you wanted those big hits, or you need to land on one of on the short game guessed right.
You've got Mostert in a league, don't you?
Yes.
So that's kind of like
there's that short pass to Graham again. So Mike is obviously on the same page with you.
Defender, or did he get defender? Oh, he must have blitzed him.
Yeah, he brought him to the line of scrimmage, so there was nobody covering him. It was a white die 4 too. He would have made the play if he would have left him home.
Yeah, unless Sweat was in there, but or was that the other team? I can't remember. Either way, that's what you want to do.
Now you're feeling good if you're Mike. You're down by 2 touchdowns, but you're moving the ball. You're finding those matchups that you talked about on how to get to pick up, move the chains and get some first downs. Off tackle left to Henry, 2-man in zone, guessed right, and that's going to lose a yard or 2 yards
there by the plug in the zone.
Jeff's calling a great game. We all talk about like mixing it up on offense. That's how you move the ball, mixing up your play calls. But Jeff's showing us a great example of mixing it up on defense. Calls run a lot, puts 4-men in zone, plugs a zone, brings a little blitz once in a while.
Well, there are a lot of times where calling run doesn't even give you a better result, and it's just a matter of which card you get. He brought 2 about that.
Right. He brought 2 linebackers there. Got the boost for 1, and that was a linebacker in zone.
Barely got it.
Barely got the sack. 27% chance of a sack, and the white die was 26. But that takes him from, 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 10 if it just would have been incomplete, to possibly 3rd and 22 outside of field goal range. So now Mike's got to get maybe look at running the ball to get it back into range for his kicker. 3rd and 22 to 38. He stays blocking back halfback. He throws it. Crossing pattern to Poole Williams. Guessed right. Defender extra short gain. And Desmond Trufant makes the play. White die 5. If he would have gone to one of those 4s, that would have been a short gain. Ifs and buts are candy and nuts. And now he's going to have to punt. So now that good feeling that you had just a few moments ago got taken away by some good defensive calls by Jeff Smith.
Well, at least he knows he can throw short passes, especially on 1st and 2nd down, because you got 3 4s on the field, and when you got 3 4s on the field and a decent quarterback, which he's got, and 2 of those guys actually have a pretty dang good possession cards on the short pass, you should be able to make some, your way down the field basically.
So great punt there as Brett Kern pins him in at their 2. And Jeff comes out in a 3 wide. I don't know This is one of those things where if you get a white die 1, you might lose 2 yards on Carson's cards. You got to be careful
I
if you
actually
run
like this a lot.
Okay, tell me.
You've got your 5 in the middle. That's the only zone most people only want to throw that look-in zone down here because of the receiver cards, especially since they boosted the negative yardage on all the regular receivers too. And, if he's going to call run, he has to put the guy on the line so he can.
And he did.
Ran
Guess right run.
But when
he did not. He did not fill the
exposing
zone.
himself to that 4 that can go downfield, and the inside is always going to be open there.
Right.
There's no way for anyone to be in the middle. The one spot you want to throw, and the other spot you want to throw is deep against that 4, and then there's no one deep. So
Right.
if you're gonna throw, you've got 2 great options if he's guessing run.
Well, he guessed run. He keyed Carson on the line book, but Carson was off tackle, so he only lost 1 yard instead of 2. That could have been a safety if he would have brought up the outside linebackers. So 2nd and 11.
This down here is whenever this situation comes up, I really like to see what coaches do when I'm playing against them, both on offense and defense. It's kind of.
Well, you know what I like to do is just go for it, throw it deep. I want that 99-yard touchdown in the box score.
People are trying to key me, or if they're trying to blitz me.
Oh, what a call. Off tackle to Carson, nobody in the zone, 18 yards. That takes some of the pressure off.
And what was that with 2 linebackers? 0 yards?
0. Yeah, so he wouldn't have gotten a safety even with 2 guys in the zone.
That's the other thing with that blitz. So you should, when you're rushing, we were talking about earlier, right and wrong and all that. I mean, it would have been 0 there, but lots of times that's a 1 yard loss too when you have 2 linebackers in zone.
We got a couple more spectators. Michael keeps dropping in and out. Claude is here, but he's not. Looks like he has no device to connect. Claude, let me know if you want to speak or anything. You get a microphone. That was a guessed wrong pass, incomplete on 2nd and 6, and that brings up 3rd and 6. That would have been a must run. That would have been Derek Carr able to scoot and maybe break contain. His must run card is not too bad. 2 through 7, he would have gotten the first.
I feel like this Derek Carr card is a little underrated by people.
Oh yeah, he had a great year.
When just conversation, and then in Battle Royale, how late he went, I was like, man, that's he would have been one of my top 6 or 7 guys probably.
I was going to take him that next round when he got paid right before he got taken. Like
you weren't getting him. I was right ahead of you.
Nice. Sideline left to Fitzpatrick. There's a 6 there. Only going to pick up a yard. He'll have to punt. But you feel good about that. You ate up a little more clock as the Patriots. You got the ball out of the shadow of your own end zone.
Yeah.
And now you've got Michael Dixon, the Australian Rugby League punter on, and he boots it for 40, even on a bad roll. Farrell Cooper lines it up at the 36, and he returns it 2 yards. So 1st and 10, Bucs at the 38.
I've kind of sneaked out a couple times just to take a look at New England. Especially, I mean, they've got a really sneaky good team. I know it sounds crazy to be 12-4 and be sneaky good, but they have like one of the top point differentials, like in the entire league. It was close to 200 points. But I wanted to see how many clubs were able to actually get 20 points on them because, I mean, Tampa's got to get on their horse here pretty soon. Only 4 times all year did they allow 20 points or more. So
what was the point totals between Tampa Bay and Houston, Nathan's team? So, I know he said he had a hard time.
Oh, if I go back, I'll get locked out.
I've got it here. I beat him 17-3, and I beat him 16-3. Or sorry, 17-13 and 16-13.
Wow!
They were slobber knockers.
So this is exactly the kind of game he likes to play. Get 16, 17, 18 points.
It was a real pain in the butt playing. I had to get lucky in that second one too.
Did you play either one of these teams, Dennis?
I played Tampa Bay, and I gave him one of his only losses on the year. But I was very lucky in that game. I think it was like 17-0. I didn't score that many points. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So my game against him was 17-0, and it was just neither of us could really move the ball too well. So
I played New England this year, and won 30-9. But Carr basically just kept handing the ball to my defensive backs.
That's the way Strat is sometimes. You just have to do your best and hope the rolls go your way. It's a short pass to Graham. He's being double covered now. So now we see an adjustment by Jeff. He saw what Mike was doing.
Yeah, but you notice there was also the nickel against the blocking back formation. It's just too easy
to double correctly.
That formation, you're giving up too much.
Right. So he'll have to punt. That was a sack by Cameron Jordan. There's a fumble. Who's going to get it?
Right.
I think, is it Tampa Bay? Yes, they got their own turnover / break, and they get the ball at the New England 20. So that's a gut punch if you're Jeff, because you just made a great call. Your guy stepped up, Cameron Jordan. We haven't even talked about his defensive line. We've been focused on the secondary and the linebackers, but he goes 6'12", 5'1" as a nose at 6'9". So he's got Frank Clark and Cameron Jordan. That's got to be the two best defensive ends in the league, or close to it. Bombed is Quill Williams, single covered. Nobody's in the zone. 5 guard him. 7 yards on a must run by Fitzmagic, and that sets up 2nd and 3 at the 13. So now you're in position to where you want to be. You want to get this ball in the end zone, make it a single score game. You won't feel good if you come away with a field goal, and that's what Jeff's trying to do, stop him and make him settle for 3. So let's see what that free safety does.
Tough in this close area when you're kind of a flat pass, options can get flooded so easily and without much detriment,
There's a pass to Brate covered by a 4, 3-man in zone. There is no extra pass rush, and it's going to be 10 yards, 1st and goal at the 3. There was no black D die, so there was no threat of a pass rush. But he put both of his linebackers next to the nose tackle, which negates the pass rush. So 1st and goal at the 3. He doesn't go full house. I think because maybe his other back isn't that great. I think it's Mark Walton. I'd still bring him in. Short pass to Graham, 3-man in zone, guessed right. Incomplete. 72% chance of a sack. That could have brought it back out.
I mean, unless you're going to use you can line buck your quarterback, I suppose, if that's reasonable. But just the boost to your line, and they're not like they're so strong they couldn't use it. They certainly could.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Especially on the D card, because it's going to be 2-man in zone everywhere.
Yeah, you want to go full house and pound it. Off tackle left to Henry.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
You can't either. Free key. Oh, -1 anyway.
So 3rd and goal at the 4. Let's do our second guessing. As soon as he sets his formation. That's like almost an automatic formation call for most coaches, is to go full house in this spot.
The only time I don't is when my running back is really, if they're really good, guessed wrong, and I've got like someone like Mahomes, then I'll run a regular formation.
Yeah, because you get your flanker and split in the game instead of just one of them. That would have been a completion on Fitzpatrick's card, guessed wrong, for 15 yards and a touchdown.
If there's like a really reasonable chance that they're going to guess a lot of pass, then I might not do it. But, not too often.
Yeah. I'm not seeing the benefit of this formation. What is this? The 2 tight end inside run to Henry. He's able to key him because he's got nobody else to run the ball. But he bust right through Derrick Henry, linebacker in zone, +1 or +5. Deion Jones says, I got him.
Excellent defense. He just plows through a key.
That's a nice roll there by Mike. Kick is up and good. 17-10, just like that. Takes it down to the 0. Richie James is back there. Is he going to bring it out? I think we may be crashing, guys, so let me get out of here. All right, back in. Missed the play, 2nd and 3. I'm guessing that was a Duke Johnson run. So he decided to sit on it at the 20 at the goal line. Off tackle right to Johnson. He's going to lose two, put contain back into place. 3rd and 5.
That's pretty brutal.
He's trying to save Carson carries. Carson has 9 unfatigued carries remaining, and we got 3 minutes left in the third. Let's talk about the offensive lines here. We got 5-7, 4-5, 4-7, 0-5, and 5-5. So that's some pretty good pass protection against Tampa Bay's line, which goes 5-9, 5-3, and 6-3. So their big pass threat is Sam Hubbard up against a 5-7. So linebackers don't bring much extra pressure. Darius Leonard, 6'6'7", is the best. Screen left to Duke Johnson is going to lose 2 yards. That's a 6. Defender -2 or +2, and New England now has to punt. Trying to recover from that fumbled punt that gave Tampa Bay a short field, and then the breakthrough on the correctly keyed run. There's a short punt. Dixon not having his best day. Farrell Cooper lines it up. See what kind of return he can put together. I don't think we're crashing. I think he's just waiting. Usually you see a little spinny winny. And it's not. It's a 0-yard return after he clicks.
That was a high hanging punt.
Yeah, exactly. Really high. A lot of hang time on that one.
That one where the Cowboys punter hit the scoreboard.
Yeah. So no return possible. What do they do on that one? Did they make him re-kick it?
I can't remember, but it happened.
Yeah. I think he was aiming for it, too. He mentioned that he was trying to hit it.
He had been talking about he thought he could hit it, so he thought it was pretty funny, I think.
So it's 2:06 to go in the third quarter. 17-10, Patriots in front of this 2020 Autumn Wind quarterfinal. Let's look at the Tampa Bay's line. They go 0-7, 6-7, 4-3, 4-3, and 4-5. Square out right to Darius Slayton. There's 2 men in zone. Incomplete. So we do use the emphasize. Say that again?
He still wanted to block the run zone. He moved his linebacker up, and then he put 2 men outside and left the inside open.
Yeah, that was good. You're protecting against more than one thing.
Offense, yeah.
And that would have been a completion because it was a white die 6. It would have been 9 yards if he would have just left everybody home. Second and 10. Slant to Brait, 4 men in zone, no extra pass rush help. And incomplete on a 5. Fitzmagic needs a guess wrong on a 5 to complete it. 3rd and 10. So Jeff's still coming up with some really good defensive calls. Mm-hmm. And the rolls haven't been kind to Tampa Bay outside the breaking of that key for the touchdown and the fumble punt.
And he's only 1 score down, and he's got the ball. I mean, with everything that's happened, I think you got to be happy with where he's at.
Yeah, you can't complain too much about that.
I still hate this formation.
Bomb. Daquil Williams guessed right. Incomplete. I think Jeff has a 4 free safety. It's been something that Tampa Bay's been trying to target, defender in zone.
Well, they're on the nickel, though. The 4 free safety. I think his strong safety comes up to a 5.
Another fumble punt, and Tampa Bay recovers again.
Oh, wow.
And they try to advance it. They recover it a second time. Oh, my goodness.
They just keep running it against his defense.
So far, Mike's best offensive play has been to punt it and recover the fumble. He's gotten big chunk yards on both these drives. Let's look at the ball possession. So in the second half, the Bucs have gone 7 plays, 37 yards, They had to punt. Nothing happened on that one. Then 2 3-and-outs, and both of those were punts that he was able to fumble and recover.
Mike says, I finally figured something that works for me.
Yeah. So now
Yeah,
you really
should start punting it on third down.
It's like a bomb.
It is. And if you're Jeff, you're like, oh my God, this game is conspiring against me. He says, I think Richie James put some money on your team.
Mm.
Yeah, Niner trying to sabotage the Seahawks coach. So 1st and goal at the 8. And again, with this crazy 2 tight end formation.
It's not as bad for me from this spot, from the 8, like as it is like from the 3 or the 4.
But what benefit is this over a regular blocking back fullback set?
Oh, the 2 tight end. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant
why?
You're
taking away a better receiver to put Virgil Green in there. I guess for 4 blocking.
Does the 2 tight end set give you the boost though on the running lane?
I don't think so.
No,
it doesn't, because look at the dice readout. John Halapio's 4 compared to White Die 4.
Oh yeah,
right.
You're right.
Doesn't
like 2 tight end, 3 running back? I think that I'm thinking of.
That would boost it, but this doesn't boost it. Maybe he thinks he's getting a boost. Anyway, he got 4 yards, and then 2nd goal at the 4, same formation. Off tackle left to Henry, 1 man in zone, or 2 men in zone. Excuse me. No gain. And we're into the 4th quarter. Now, if you're Jeff, it's not just you feel good if you stop him. You really need to stop him here. You gotta stem some of this momentum. And that's the other thing too with the full house. Even if you don't run it with Mark Walton, who's his 2nd running back, at least you're threatening to run it with Mark Walton. It makes it harder to key.
See an outside run if I was going to run Henry here, just to avoid that key, and because you probably got a good shot at a 0-man in zone at least. Plus his outside run right is, just about as good as his inside run. Better, it looks like.
Short pass to Graham against the run call. This is going to be good. And it is good. It should be good, and it is good. Jimmy Graham catches it for a 12-yard touchdown, and we are tied, pending the extra point. But it's the money badger. He never misses, right? And it's up and good, 2 through 12.
Not on that card, he doesn't miss.
So down to the 0. Let's see if we crash or if we actually stay connected this time. We stay connected.
And it's time. And
tie game in the 4th quarter.
Now I'm feeling the opposite. Now I'm horrible if I'm New England.
You feel like, man, I finally got to get some.
This is kind of what I felt like last night when Dave's tied the game up, although it was a lot later in the game.
Yeah, because it seemed like you're in control. You feel good about your plan. The plan seems to be working. Jeff's been making excellent calls. The yardage, I'm sure, is in their favor. Well, it's actually pretty even.
Neither team's really blown me away where they are just dominating or anything like that. But it's 2 great defenses. So
yeah. Well, we talked about those games that you had against them, 17-16, 17-13.
Yeah.
So this is shaping up to be one of those. 17-17, 5-yard pickup there on an out pattern to DK Metcalf.
Yeah, this is where you just, after you see 2 screwball plays like that you just got to stay focused and stay within yourself. It'd be so much easier to say, heck with it, I'll just throw deep to Metcalf. Just start throwing bombs just to change the momentum.
There's a quick out right to Hooper, and there's a fumble, but New England gets it back.
Okay.
So it wasn't just Richie James that got paid off by the.
That was a pretty nice looking card there for Hooper.
Yeah, I guess wrong. If you're going to call a lot of run against him, that's a good target to have.
I looked at that card this year. That's one of the few cards I haven't noticed a lot.
You need to go trade for him in Samspa or Spring Fever.
I don't need a 3rd string, 4th string tight end. I'm always stacked at tight end, it seems like. Not this.
Is that? Do you have Kelsey and Kittle in that league? Here's a sideline right to Boyd.
Which league are we talking about?
Spring Fever? Don't you have like that tight end combo?
At one point I had Kelsey, Gronk, and Ebron, and maybe Vance McDonald or something. So I traded Get a trade. Trade somebody. Ebron probably. I don't know.
Makes sense. Screen right to Carson, so he's trying to flat it down the field. It's working. He's into Tampa Bay territory. 1st and 10, 12-18 to go. Picked up several first downs on this drive. Got a little bit of a scare. And Carr's having an effective game. 14-21, keeping it short. He had the one long gain out of a 3 wide. Off tackle right to Carson. Now you can start using those carries. Vita Vea makes a stop, only a 4-yard gain. So 4th quarter, 11:42 to go. 2nd and 6. You're a 1 first down out of field goal range. Are we going to see a short pass to Boyd or Metcalf? No, it's an inside run to Carson. Nose tackle +5 or +31, and Vita Vea trips on his shoelaces, can't make the play. Carson just sidesteps him and goes all the way down to the 10. So there's a big play, making up for maybe one of the fumble punts a little bit.
Exactly. He was due a break.
So Carson's run 20 times for 146 yards today and a touchdown. And that was against a lot of run calls. So
I don't know how to Duke Johnson in here. I think, well, from 10 yards out, if you get a guess strong run, you want to get in there.
Yep. Agreed. Pitch out right to Johnson, though. He's got a guess wrong run.
Oh,
Can Hooper make the block?
Yeah.
Cannot. 33% chance of making that block, and he missed it. But he gets 4 yards, setting up 2nd and goal at the 6.
guess
Ooh,
you
that would have.
more carries in the tighter area, though, with Carson if you did that.
Yeah, that would have been a good. I mean, the perfect call on offense would have been a flat pass to the right because he had moved that 6 down.
Mm-hmm.
But what a time for that! That would have been a short. You'd look like a genius if you did that.
Is Carson a
hadn't
decent
moved.
receiver?
He can do it. He can do okay. He doesn't need to catch the ball because Tyler Boyd just brought it in for a guess wrong short pass for 13 yards and a touchdown, and that was going to be a completion, right or wrong. He would have had to double team him to stop it, and there was a 1x, so no pass rush chance. And the extra point is good, so the Patriots have survived the barrage of bad luck, gotten a break of their own, and now they're back on top, 24-17. Tampa Bay's turn to answer that drive. And you know what kind of break that they need? They need a long run by Derrick Henry, guessed wrong.
Well,
That would
actually,
be- that would-
need to punt. They just need to punt it again.
Or that could work too.
Oh, if you notice, he was in that blocking back regular formation, too.
You're
And
right.
He got keyed. I mean, it's possible that these guys are just smarter than us and basically say, look, more people are going to call that run key and gives me better options to throw.
Right.
That might be like the strategy, you know?
Yes. The old cat and mouse game. They've outfoxed us.
Although I think I like it a little bit better with Carson because he's so good, yes, right.
There's a screen right to Henry. He's going to pick up 2 yards. There was a 4 linebacker there. 2nd and 8. Fitzpatrick had a rougher time than Carr, even though their yardage might be similar. Fitzpatrick's only completed 30% of his passes, 35 or so. Off tackle left to Henry, guessed wrong. Here's a guessed wrong run. But this tackle can't make the block. David Edwards is a 4 against the white die 6. And that'll set up 3rd and 6. Again, he stays in the blocking back halfback set. Eschewing the 3 wide.
And it's not as bad in 3rd and 6 just because if you double 2, oh, he's in a 3-4 anyway. That's weird.
Yeah, he stays in a 3-4, despite having Kuechly in the 6-6 there that can stop contain.
Hurts your containment chances.
Yep.
I guess unless he rolls that 8 roll.
Inside run to Henry, no containment. He needs a big run on Henry's card, or at least more than 6. And he gets exactly 6. First down. See, if you had left stayed in the 3-3-5 and just left Henry or Kuechly. Is it Kuechly?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah, if you left Kuechly there, it would have been stuffed. So that was a lot of work for 10 yards. 8:24 to go in the game. Inside run to Henry. Guessed wrong. He needs a big one. Gets 0.
He jinxed him. The worst roll.
Blocking back +2 or +0, and Jimmy Graham cannot block.
You'd have half the defense still on the sideline and then fall down to 0 yards.
Yep, you're right. Do the old Satchel Paige trick and have everybody sit down. Still would have been a loss or no gain. So 2nd and 10, same formation. Let's pay attention to what Jeff does on defense. He brought a linebacker up and called pass last time. Is it time to spring a run call? Nope, does the same thing. Linebacker in the zone, inside run. This time it picks up 6. Michael Pierce's 5 is beaten. That would have been only a 1-yard gain
if he wasn't there, the linebacker. The game.
I think it's about the same. 4 yards. No, it would have been 9 yards. You're right. So that saved him
a little bit. It's not 24 yarder or anything like that.
Right. So instead of 3rd and 2, it's 3rd and 4.
It's still tough down for both.
Sideline right to DeQuill. There's a 4 there. Guessed right. Only picks up 2. So despite only having the good defensive cards, they've been coming through for him. 4th and 2, 6:36 to go. What do you guys do? 4 down territory.
Oh, you go for it.
You go for it. I don't know. I might punt with an excellent pass.
Yeah, this is the punting game.
Yeah,
but the fumbles in the yards.
I think you go for it.
You got to punt though, because Henry's so bad. Guessed right.
Well, that'll be guessed right.
Yeah, or throw a short pass. Short to Graham.
Bad
short to Brate.
And you totally nail him. I mean,
yeah. You could get a short to Henry even. He's got a couple completions on his card.
Well,
we haven't seen that yet, but he's got a completion on 7 and 3. Guessed right. I also don't like going for it because you don't really have the run support.
Pass left right here to the DeQuill Williams.
Slant to Brate, double covered. Jeff called it perfectly. He needs a double team completion on Fitzpatrick cards, and he just misses it. Hits the 4, and now Jeff takes over. Up a touchdown with just 6:18 to go. So that might doom Angry Mike. Might make him angry. Angrier. Yeah, exactly.
Well, when your defense is as good as it is, especially, like good, what is he, good, excellent?
Yes. Excellent against the run, good against the pass.
I'm going to take my chances for 2 yards, and if not, have to rely on the defense, because if you have more than 1 first down, you're probably going to lose even if you punted.
Okay, 6-yard pickup, guessed right on Derek Carr's flat pass card as he looks for Carson. There was a man in the zone, but when it's on the quarterback's card, you don't mind that so much. 5 minutes away from the semifinals. Jeff is trying to make a few more calls to get into field goal range and make this a 2-score game. And Mike is trying to make a perfect defensive call. Off tackle left to Carson. That's going to pick up a first down, and it'll be 1st and 10 to the 32. Let's check his field goal kicker. I think it's Younghoe Koo. And he's pretty good. I think 2 through 9. 2 through 9 from the 23 to the 32. Inside run to Carson. So Mike's not calling run. He's just leaving his guys home, hoping to catch him, trying to throw a look-in pass, maybe get a pick or.
Well, so far it's not having any linebackers in there. It's killing them. Also,
right.
Have them 0 linebacker.
2nd and 4.
But if he holds him to a field goal here, he's still going to at least have a reason.
Look at that. 2nd and 4, sneak to Carr. The call was a pass, picks up 4 yards, saves a carry for Carson. 1st and 10 at the 22. Now he's even in better field goal range. 2 through 9 and 12, I think, here.
Those are such nice calls. Guessed wrong. I mean,
Mike's got to mix in a run call, but I think he's worried about a flat pass. Flat pass guessed wrong, like giving him. Oh, there you go. There's a short yardage defense. It's going to stuff it for a 2-yard gain. You need the printer run?
No.
Coach, Roger's calling you.
All right, what?
Just go over and see what he wants.
Okay. I have like 10 games going that all have 14, 10, 5 days now.
2nd and 8, 3:18 to go. Ball's now at the 20. Carson's in there. Still has a good 4 carries, I think, unfatigued. Yep, 4 carries unfatigued. You can go a couple more after that. I feel pretty good about your chances.
If you think he's going to run, giving him a key, I mean, you might actually have a shot at a turnover, too. As high
Yeah, he is a fumbler. You can get that over 50. I'll tackle right to Carson. Guessed right. And he hits the short gain down 17 yards down to the 3. Man, now you want to just run it with a low fumbler. You don't want to risk turning it over.
Line
buck to the
– He's got
the quarterback. What does he have? Quarterback's got a 21.4% chance. I'm not 21.4 out of 1,000, so 2.1 chance of a fumble. I think you give it to Duke. I think Duke Johnson's off tackle left. Oof. He goes with a off tackle run, guessed wrong. And actually, if you're Jeff, you're like, oh, that's all right.
Yeah, who cares? I agree.
Eats up some more clock. Matter of fact, a sneak to Carr here. I mean, you don't want to count on a 2 through 10 or 2 through 11 field goal because we saw what happens sometimes on those. But
I don't know if you said that Carr's a 21 fumbler guessed wrong. I mean, they're all fumblers probably.
Duke Johnson isn't.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. Pretty sure I saw it earlier in the game though, and he didn't have a high fumble number.
A horrendous fumbling number, so I don't know.
Inside run to Carson. No Sackle makes the play. Uses up 6 more seconds. Tampa Bay still has all 3 timeouts, so they're hoping for a miracle here. Fumbled snap. Carr's got a 3.3 number on the fumble snap, and that last one was a 17, so that's pretty close, but close only helps in horseshoes and hand grenades. 3rd and 3. 3rd and goal at the 3, I should say. Carson back there. No Duke Johnson. I'm going to have to look through this. Find me a Duke Johnson carry. I'm not going to get it in time. Sneak to Carr. And he sneaks it in. 3 yards out. He gets the block from Dalton Risner, who I'm sure was a pretty second-round pick or so.
Yeah, I mean, that's where he got him. They're a pretty good job. He got Montez in the second round, too. And DK Metcalf was like pick number 15.
Yeah, that was huge.
A really nice draft.
Well, I'm going to have to wait to see what Duke Johnson's fumble number is. I'll check the log afterward. But that's the extra point, and that's pretty much the game, folks. I mean, I don't see 2 touchdowns and 145 the way he's been calling defense.
Well, I mean, the Buccaneers have a chance to punt the ball again, so you never know.
They won't.
Maybe you don't know about
really been impressive. Yeah. That drive that they put together when they were tied 17-17. I mean, I know they got a big 30, 40-yard run, but he just ripped through that drive just like that. This is really impressive to win this game by 2 touchdowns. Basically, he handed him 2 of these scores. It could be 31-3 right now. He's called a great defensive game.
He certainly has. Pitch out left to Henry. If we ever needed a big Henry run, it's right now. He gets 16. That helps. We need to hit that plus 68 or the plus 34.
Well,
There's always hope. You played to the very last call. I mean, you could, here's the path for Tampa Bay to force this to go to overtime. Hit a big run, recover the onside kick, hit another big run, or get a bomb by Fitzpatrick.
I actually beat Ed one time down 16 when I was just under 2 minutes to go.
Off tackle left to Henry. Needs an edge.
Needs a big
Gets
play.
another 17. That's back-to-back runs. That's 35 yards.
They got to change that out of bounds thing. I think you've talked about it before, but it should be a little more random and maybe a different dice than offense, defense card.
Well, that was I hear what you're saying. I would like that. That was an off tackle, though, so no chance of going out of bounds on that one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. I think we got the long game and the 74 on that one.
Yeah, it would have been stayed in bounds if he would have ran in run because it's a white die 3. 1, 3, and 5 stay in bounds. 2, 4, and 6 get out of bounds. Pitch out left to Henry. Can he hit a big one? Oh no, the defensive end, Frank Clark. He ran the wrong way. If he had gone the other way, it would have been a 39-yarder. It would be first and goal at the 3.
No, they're both 6s, aren't they?
Oh, you're right. I stand corrected.
That was the one where he needed to run inside. Might have actually got it.
Yeah, a linebacker there. Let's look at the look at the
I
in a
mean,
second.
3's just like, well, why couldn't that go on my card?
Yeah, exactly. That's the edge you needed, just on the wrong cards. That's a pretty nice team that Jeff's put together. Short pass to Graham, 4-minute zone, and here comes a sack by Montez Sweat. He subbed him in, took out the 4 without us noticing, and put in the 0-0-10, and he makes good on his offseason acquisition, and he's going to be great next year. Talk about his draft. Who else did you say he got?
Yeah, well, he had DK Metcalf at pick 15 or 16, 15, I think. And then he drafted Risner at like 2.14 or something like that. And then Montez Sweat he had back-to-back picks in the second round. Yeah, Montez Sweat also.
That was huge. And you love it when you draft a young player like that with a kind of a bad rating. Well, the pass rush is good, but then he has a really strong second season. That's what Sweat did. He'll be really good next year.
Is going to keep trading everything away, but I was pretty happy I got Sebastian Joseph, whatever the heck his name is, for the Rams.
Yep.
Day,
Sebastian Joseph Day. Yep.
And he gets me a good nose tackle. I need it.
And did he trade for Kuechly, or did he already? He must have traded for him, but I think
traded for him. I think maybe Rick Byron's had him and was offered
I remember
preseason.
I remember that draft. Rick was drafting like 6, and I was at 8 in the first round.
That was the Russell Wilson draft,
right? So I had 1.3 and 1.8.
The pick that Rick took, Luke Kuechly, I had moved up to Rick's spot and given him quite a few picks to move there, and I ended up with RG3, and he got Luke Kuechly.
Wow!
Behind me, I had moved up with you even. I flipped spots there, and you took Russell Wilson. So I moved up twice past 2 Hall of Famers to get RG3.
You never know how this game works.
Well,
but I had talked to Rick about trading up to get Kuechly because I wanted that 6'6" that first year. But Bobby Wagner was only a 5'8". But it was just too expensive for me. I would just take the Seahawk, and I'm glad I did. Obviously. 4th and 8, incomplete. And so that'll be your final, 31-17, as Derek Carr comes out for the victory formation. I'll hand it to Duke Johnson so I can see his fumble number. Come on now. He takes a knee. Okay, I got to pull up the log now. Let's take a look. What do I want? I want football leagues. I don't want playoffs logs. And we want the Patriots and the Bucs.
One fumble on 83 runs. You It'll be something.
Okay, so Duke Johnson is a 4.5 guessed right and an 8 guessed wrong.
All the way around, but still pretty low still.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. 4.5 guessed wrong, 8 guessed right. So he's their best back to run it when you don't want to fumble.
Definitely.
So
It's also
Mike says the better team. Oh, sorry. Was that?
I was saying between him and Carson, he's also your best back to run it when you don't want to get in the yards.
Right. Makes sense. So we'll take off the share screen. Let's see if we can get Jeff in here if he wants to join us. I don't know if he will. Kind of late over there on the East Coast. I always feel bad about asking the losing coach to join because you're like, man, just let the guy lick his wounds. But I always go on when I lose just because.
I don't mind either way. Sometimes it's better to talk about it.
Exactly. You got to talk it out.
But like maybe later.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it literally helped me just to chat in the little box a little bit to get over it, you know.
Tell you what, Dennis, if you're calling the game Saturday, win or lose, I will talk it through.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think some of the guys don't even know how to join. Like, they've never tried it.
It too.
So, Jeff Smith moves up to the semifinals. He'll be one of the final 4 teams. He'll face Dave Szymanski and the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's take a look at what they did in the regular season against each other if they played. So, the Patriots and the Eagles, did they play? Do I see a Philadelphia? I see a Phoenix. They were not in the same conference. He says he doesn't have a mic on his computer. Can he get on via phone? I think so.
Yeah, you can
try
connect
it.
with them. Absolutely.
I bet you that's going to be a very low score. Both those coaches call really good defense.
Yeah.
Both have really good personnel.
It'd take a little bit of work, but I'd love to see how many 3-5 finals you've seen in a conference. I can't imagine there being very many of them in the 17 years we've got records of this.
I'm going to go to.
What's your team's ranking, Michael? Are you a good?
Yeah, good. I think
so Dennis, you're the only defense left in the playoffs that has any average or below good at all.
Oh, that's not good. That doesn't bode well for me sticking around too long.
Figuratively or literally.
Well, I made it this far. I really wasn't trying to compete for a championship. I just wanted to make the playoffs, which I did. So I'm happy with that.
Sometimes how it works out.
Yeah.
I did not think my team was a 15-1 team. It reminds me of that S28 team 2 years ago. I had like 3 4s in my secondary and a 5 free safety. And I went 15-1. I was just like, no pressure though. I mean, I was just like, screw it. Like,
yeah.
Games in.
I think Claude won a championship like that too in Autumn Wind. Where
these double counting leagues, it's even more surprising, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
In the regular season, you're gonna face both kinds of defenses. You're gonna face some easier and some harder. But you know, the harder ones are just brutal.
Or you just have a fluky game like we just saw. I mean, that's what makes it even more impressive. Like I said, to give up 2 touchdowns in a crappy way like that and still come away with a win and a big win on top of that. That's how.
Hey, and then we got Jeff Smith in via teleconferencing via Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint. How you doing, Jeff?
Yeah, pretty good now.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, let's start with the first thing. How did you feel after those 2 fumbled punts, and then the missed key gave him 2 touchdowns and tied the game at 17 all?
All I was doing was cursing out the 49ers because Richie James is a 49er, and I'm like, can I just cross his name out right now while we're here? But no, I was so fortunate up to that point anyway that it's the way the game goes, right? It's a dice game, so it's the rolls are going to go for you. The rolls are going to go against you. Tough to have it on back-to-back punt returns, but what are you going to do?
Now, you say that you were lucky, but I think that a lot of that luck comes from having a good plan. Did you want to talk about what you were trying to do against Mike on offense and defense that seemed to work really well this game?
Well, it was funny. All last week leading up to the game against the Saints, I had a plan that I totally went away from. Like I had it set up where I was gonna, do one thing early, and then the fourth quarter I was just gonna run. I was gonna run Carson like crazy. So it was kind of funny listening to your rebroadcast of the game after I was done. You were like, give him carries, and I kept thinking, damn it, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And for whatever reason, I just didn't. I went away from it, and I almost blew the game. I had to get extremely lucky at the end. So this game, obviously, with his defense, almost the same, right? A little better than the Saints one, where he has good against the run and excellent against the pass. Where it was like, well, what's the best way to beat this guy? And it's, he can churn the ball, with the best of them. So I knew it was going to be a tight game. So I said I just have to keep it that way. So focused on running the ball more this game and not take too many chances and see how it goes.
Well, it certainly worked well. I mean, I think that whenever you face an excellent pass defense in a strat league, you're not looking forward to it. And you know that you could get burnt with multiple interceptions in the game, but you were able to stay away from that. You did go up top on that one play early in the game. You beat the 4 DB on a deep pass. I was actually away from the computer then, but the guys filled me in. So talk about that play. Was that part of the plan too? Try to beat that 4?
Well, you try not to get into too many tendencies, and sometimes it's unavoidable. But at that point, it was just I felt like I was getting him to creep in and guess run more often. So I just tried to switch it up there because I think I went to a 3 wide and was seeing if I could catch him guess and run on that, which when he would pull in the free safety. So that's exactly what happened. And
I actually really like that play, and especially it takes some guts to go straight deep against that guy on the very first play of they use that formation. And it was on a second down too, I believe, right?
Yeah. Because the first run got 6 yards, so I think it was 2nd and 4. And
perfect down for it.
Yeah. So it was just one of those times where you pick your spots, right? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that time I got lucky that it worked.
Well, and it's not just that he has to worry about you running, because the only kind of weakness he had was that middle linebacker, and you have a really good flat passing quarterback. So you could have easily been throwing the look in there, and he might have flooded and called pass or double teamed a flat target. So that I really like that formation, that situation, and the call. That was really nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well,
hey Jeff,
congratulations.
get your mind straight after. So you watched 2 fumbles from Richie James. Which, by the way, are you just going to leave him there in Tampa and fly back to New England without him?
We're making him walk home.
So I looked at your stats, and basically at the half, I've seen that you only allowed 20 points or more in 4 of your games this year. So I felt real comfortable that you were going to hold on to this. And, of course, nobody could see 2 of those in a row. Where
Exactly.
Now this game goes from 17-3 to 17-17. So now, but that next drive, I think that's the one that you put together, that you answered. So how do you stay calm in a drive like that where, you've got DK Metcalf? I think a lot of rookie coaches that think, oh, heck with it, I'll just start throwing bombs and just basically losing your mind. But instead you stayed patient and stepped with the game plan. And I thought that was the drive of the game right there, where you wasn't in your mind, basically. You were able to stick with your game plan and go right back on top after 2 fluke touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, that was really, really important because he was like, his punts, he was doing a good job of pinning me deep. My field position was not great in this game. I felt like I was driving 80 yards like every single time. So like you said, after back-to-back, I knew that drive was pretty important. And, like I said, Dennis, earlier, that, last game, I had the game plan and I went away from it. So it was like just telling myself, look, it's the tie game. It's not like there's a minute left, so there's no reason to panic now. It's just just keep using what's working. And
you did have some good luck on Chris Carson. Guessed
yeah.
right. You'd hit some short gains. You beat the Vita Vea on the big drive to take for the go ahead touchdown.
That I think was the play of the game. Was that roll that 2 on the defense, and I beat the 5 for 31 yards. Yeah,
right.
That was huge run.
Yeah, because even with the excellent pass defense, it's on top of that, you can't really throw flat on the outside because they got 6s there. I mean, you did, but you're not going to get that white die 6 to help you out.
Right.
The white die 6 did help you out on that run big time. So I agree. That was one of the biggest plays of the game for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
So, well, how do you feel about Dave, your upcoming opponent? I don't think you guys played in the regular season.
I
don't see any New England Philly.
I'm pulling up the regular season for myself actually to see. I thought I did, but maybe not. I don't know. I haven't looked at his team yet. Obviously, I was just worried about this game. So, but I know Dave is actually a real tough coach, and clearly he beat Nathan, right, which I couldn't do. So he's already one ahead of me. So we'll see. We'll do our scouting and hopefully be ready.
Should be fun.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. I know it's late there. Did anybody have any last questions for Jeff?
No, I'm just real impressed that you were able to put those 2 fluke touchdowns. You put them out of your mind. That was fantastic, Jeff. Way to go, man.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
One quick question. I see that they've got Josh Gordon as your rated flanker because he's probably got a ton of yards, but looks like you don't use him at all. Do you not like his card?
It's not that I don't like his card. It's just the strength of my team and Derek Carr is his flat pass.
Yeah.
And, so it was about trying to get Larry Fitzgerald on the field, as much as possible so I could take advantage of his flat pass card. And the only way to do that is Gordon can't be on the field at all. Otherwise I'd lose Tyler Boyd, who same thing, better than Gordon flat. So it's really just about that. He's in on the 4 wide, which I don't use too often, but
I see Boyd's got some nice.
Boyd's maxed. He's maxed short, which is big too. So if you get those guessed wrong run calls, people call run when you're passing it short to because of Carson's card, then you can get some nice completion on Boyd's card.
Yep.
Nice. Well, you used your team well.
I wish I had that problem this year.
Yeah. You're gonna have to trade some of those guys to me. My receivers are on their last legs, so
I don't think those guys are gonna look like that next year, though. Well, we know Gordon won't be there at all, and Fitzgerald didn't have a very good year, so. But we'll see.
Fair enough. Okay. All righty, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, and I appreciate you joining us here after the game, and I appreciate Michael and Nathan helping me broadcast it. It was a lot of fun, guys.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate all you do with the league and the broadcast and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see everybody on Saturday.
Good luck,
Jeff, you can.
I'm out, so I'll be watching.
All right, sounds good. I won't spoil it for you, but if you want any in-game updates, just let me know.
All right, see you guys.
All right, take
good night,
care,
guys.
See ya.
So there you have it. The New England Patriots take out the Tampa Bay Bucs and advance to the autumn win semifinals. Thanks for watching, guys.